You welcome to the 10 o'clock hour of the Art Lewis Show. It's an open phone edition. Jonathan Dent joining me this morning.
Good morning.
Old enough to be my great great grandson.
Not quite.
I think you probably would. I'd have to figure it out, but that's probably close.
My great grandma would be 102 this year, I think.
Well,
So,
but,
yeah, there's some wiggle room in there.
yeah. Anyway, good morning to you. Again, it's open phones, 989-752-6111. I have a question for you. Would you pay $100 for a hot dog?
Depends on how good the hot dog is.
It's not the dog itself, it's what they put on top of it. Apparently, there are places, some of them in New York, that are selling $100 hot dogs, with toppings like caviar and gold flake and stuff like that.
If I'm going to go to New York, I'm going to go to a hot dog stand on the corner and get the authentic experience
There you go.
for a lot cheaper than $100.
You got that right. You can eat a lot of hot dogs for $100.
Yeah.
I just pulled it down because I saw it online this morning. I said, you got to be kidding me. But nope, there were pictures.
Maybe. No, not even that. No, I was going to say, like, if they put, like, edible gold leaf or something on it.
Well, that's what's on.
That's
It's caviar, gold leaf, all kinds of
It's
toppings.
not- So dumb.
Give me a hot dog and mustard. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Let's go to the phones this morning. Sean is in Bay City. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning. I like the mustard on the hot dog too.
Me
only.
too. That's it.
Yes, that is it. And there is not a single hot dog in the whole world that I'm willing to pay $100 for.
No. A unicorn meat hot dog, maybe.
There's
Right,
not too many. There's
exactly.
not too many. I'd pay $3 or $4 for. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little picky. It's got to be a Kogel, so that's just the way it is here in Michigan.
I have two favorites. Kogel is one of them. Hebrew National's the other.
Yeah, those are great too. Yes, very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Yeah.
Hey, so and I'd love an honest answer here, from or opinion from you guys. I live here in Bay City, and I've seen a fair amount of the Abdul signs in people's yards, and I wonder, how should I treat these communists around me that want to take away my country? How should I feel about them?
Well,
They're my neighbor.
I'm gonna
they're
give
the
you
guy down there, and these
Yeah.
are communists.
I'm gonna
right?
give- I'm
and
gonna
they want
give-
to ruin my country.
I'm going to give you an answer you're not going to like. Because they're what we assume citizens of this country, and what makes this country great is that it gives people the right to want to do those things.
Well, it
by
was always
by
against
fiat,
the law.
not-
You can't be a communist. You had to get
Well,
out. I mean, that was a law.
well,
I
and
mean,
also
you couldn't even
understand-
run, you couldn't do anything.
Yeah, but
what
understand they're
happened?
calling themselves Democrats, socialists, which to me, when you look at their platforms, it's communism.
Yep.
But,
Well, it is.
But
Well, here's
but
the
here's
thing,
the
too.
thing, though.
Don't
Here's the
stop
thing, Sean.
saying- Yes, sir.
Here's the thing, Sean. And I've said this till I'm blue in the face. One of the things that makes this country great is tolerance for those you disagree with. And if you take away somebody's right to disagree with you, you take away your right.
Well, right, but see, that's objective morality. See, there are baselines, right? If you want to go out and kill a whole bunch of Jews like the Nazis did, right? I can't respect that opinion because it's just wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
These are
gotcha.
communists
Yeah.
trying to wreck my country.
So
They stand for really nasty stuff, and they're my enemy, is what they are. And this Saeed guy, he your enemy for sure, Art. He not a good
listen.
dude. You know what he wants to do to people like you, Art.
I would not listen. He wouldn't get the time of day from me, absolutely. But by the same token, and I think history has proven it in this country, when the country's basic principles are threatened, the people stand up. I do not think
Yes.
think that this current movement will survive once people see what they do when they get in office.
Well,
Now I'm
Art.
hopeful. I'm hopeful.
it's not a current movement. They've been working on this for 40 years.
Oh, probably
Right?
more
It's
than
not
that.
a current movement. This is how they've been indoctrinating and doing everything to hate America, hate, hate, hate. Number two, democratic socialism does not exist. It's a fake, made-up word. The two words are completely opposite. They don't mean anything
Yeah.
the same,
Yeah.
right? So don't say it. That's
Here's what. Well, I say
right?
it because
It doesn't
that's
exist.
well,
That's
no,
what they call themselves.
that's what they call themselves, and that's how I identify
Well,
them.
hey, we got men calling themselves women too, and it doesn't mean
Yeah, I
it's true,
understand
right?
that.
You gotta stand up for the
Yeah.
truth. There is no
All right,
such
so
thing
here's
as democratic socialism.
Here's what worries me the most. What worries me the most is the majority of their support is coming from this young, up-and-coming generation who have been through our education system.
Who have been indoctrinated through our education system to
failed
hate
to
America.
learn. Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
to me, that's the biggest worry is that the young generation is the motivator here, and
Well, Art, I got something for you. Never fear. Greedy Gretchen sent more money to the schools. So,
yeah,
maybe-
well,
right? I mean, hey, they're
Yeah,
teaching
yeah.
us to hate ourselves and do all this weird stuff, and
Yeah, yeah.
But she sent more money, so more of that.
well,
So I'll finish with this. Anybody with a sign in there, they're not my friend,
Yep.
and they're not your friend either.
and you don't have, and they don't have to be, and I wouldn't
They're
want to
not-
be.
They're your enemy, Art, because
Yep.
they want to take what you have.
Yep.
And you know what they want to do to people that believe what you believe.
Yep.
And that's
Well,
a simple fact.
Yep.
And they're here, and they're in Michigan. They're your neighbor. They're in your schools. They're taking over, Art, because that's
Well,
what Islamists do.
They're in those
That's
places.
what they do.
I'm not ready to say they're taking over. I'm ready to say they've making inroads, but I'm not ready to say they're taking over. We'll
They've
see.
been voting them in and putting them in places for decades, and slowly but surely, that's the plan.
Yep.
And then they come
All
to
right.
power, and then more, and that's what you got. I appreciate the conversation today, Art.
Hey,
Have a great
same
day.
here. You too, buddy. Take
Let
care.
you know the mustard is on the hot dog.
Good man. All right. Take
All right.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And let's talk to Mark in Gladwin. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing well.
Bacon wrapped hot dog for me. Put me down for.
Ooh,
Ooh, that's a twist. I like that.
a little more pricey, but not $100.
Oh, yeah, that'd be interesting.
Two topics I wanted to throw out there is I see out there in Shields they're having problems keeping up with the manpower. There was a report that conditions there weren't favorable.
Where
I
we
saw a
you
video-
dropped a word and we missed
Yeah.
what you said. So say it again. They're having trouble
Out
with
in
what?
Shields. Oh, keeping up with the manpower there. The conditions are not very well. And somebody spoke up there and got in trouble or something like that.
For what?
For what? When you say
At the
manpower?
at the correction facilities, they don't have enough people there to do the patrols and so forth. And
Where's Shields?
somebody
Where's a correction facility in Shields? You mean Freeland?
in there. Oh, I thought they said Shields on the news report.
There's no correction facility in Shields that I know of.
There's the one
Okay,
in
well-
Freeland.
Freeland is the
Okay,
prison.
well maybe. Well, you guys had a story on there this morning in regards to an officer speaking up and saying something, and as far as the conditions there, and he got demoted or something. But my question is over
Yeah.
in China they just put out robots that patrol the public out in public. They
Yeah.
look like humanoid robots.
Yep.
I was just wondering if these facilities here, correction facilities, would go to that route since they have a manpower issue.
Yeah, I know the story you're talking about. It wasn't Shields, but there is a shortage of prison help, and the corrections officers are complaining because it's unsafe and many other things, and they've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
But the prisons have
Right.
had trouble in Michigan hiring corrections officers. That's what that was, and I don't know. Maybe if those humanoid robots did the job, I
don't see that going well at all.
I don't either, but that's beside the point.
Well, if the individuals are just patrolling hallways and doing head counts, I don't, and they're behind bars, I don't see why a humanoid robot couldn't walk and do that.
You do the same thing with a nice enough camera system, but then you start talking about surveillance issues. But
Well, in a prison, surveillance issues are not an issue.
as much of an issue now.
So,
Right.
and actually,
the
the
next
way
one I had,
and the other thing
Go
too
ahead.
to mention about that is they're building when they build new prisons, they build them with a different design today. Rather than rows and rows of cells, they're built on a hub and spoke principle, where you have a central control room, and then the cell arms branch out from that control room, and one or two people can sit in that control room and literally control the entire prison. So it's a new design,
Okay.
and the new Saginaw County jail facility was built with a new design.
Yeah.
well, I'll take your word for it. Nothing I want to visit and see for myself.
That's smart.
So the next one I saw was on the ABC News a few nights ago, where a drone was chasing a vendor around his van. And I don't know if he was in Ukraine or what have you, but the drone was going around his van, and it ended up stopping. He jumped in his van right before the drone dropped down and exploded. Do you foresee that as being an issue in the United States when Mondani talks about landlords being wiped out, or however the term he used?
No,
That's in warfare.
Luigi Mandani,
Yeah.
that Luigi guy shot that CEO. I was just thinking of the next war front that potentially is coming.
no,
with
but
drones.
that's an individual doing an act of violence, as opposed to war, where they have all of these types of weapons, if you will, and weaponize things like drones. Listen, is there an oddball who may try and use one in this country? Probably.
There are already defenses put up for that kind of thing,
And
electronic
we
defenses.
do have
and
some,
things.
yeah, but you got to know it's coming to use them.
Yeah.
So, but is the possibility there? Sure. Is the probability there? Probably not.
What do you think about the media talking about munition stockpiling in the United States not being? I don't think that's like showing your hands.
Exactly.
As far as,
I'm not big on telling. It's one of the things I fault Trump on. I mean, don't tell the enemy your plans.
No.
Just do it. Surprise is the key element. So I wouldn't advertise it.
Anybody, yeah, anybody nefarious out there that has
Yeah.
got a bone to pick.
Yep.
You
There
say
you
your
go.
stockpiles are low. Time to attack.
All right. Mark,
Alrighty, sir. Take
gotta
care.
run. Take care. Bye-bye now. And Tim and Scott, hang on. We'll get to you after these notes.
Service. It's hard to find these.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. Back to our phones on this open line hour. Tim is in Saginaw. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Art. How you doing?
Doing well.
I want to start off by saying, and I don't mean this to be pompous or condescending or anything, but I have advanced degrees in political science, history, and economics. And I keep hearing your first caller, and I was going to call you and ask him to correct him, but then you called the guy a communist too. And my point is, that's ridiculous. It's not communism. If people weren't so easily misinformed and actually did some studies and research on what communism and what socialism happens to be, they wouldn't make the kind of outlandish comments that the first person, and even Trump's getting away with it because he can say they're communists and everything else. And these people have no idea. They just look at it and say, well, he wants to do this and he wants to do that, so that must be communism. And I can't, let me ask you this. There's a ton of social programs in this country, and there's a ton of social programs in Canada and different countries. It's not socialism. Those are social programs. I'll ask you a question.
Now you're
pay
beating
taxes. Let me just finish.
you're beating semantics now. I mean,
No, it's not at all. Because let me finish. I want to ask you a question. I'm not a farmer. I don't farm anything. I pay federal taxes. Some of those dollars go to farm subsidies. One of the largest subsidized programs
Right.
for subsidization in the United States. Is that socialism?
No, because the government isn't.
Why?
Because the government isn't running it. You can say Social Security is socialism because the government runs it. You can say Medicare is a form of socialism because the government runs it. When the government gives money to the farmer, the government doesn't run the farmer does.
Why is the farmer getting anything, Art?
Well, that's a whole different story, isn't it? I mean, now you're into a whole different topic. Now you're into a philosophical question of who should be subsidized and who shouldn't be.
Well, let me ask you this. What's the definition, simple definition of communism and socialism? And by the way, democratic socialism, I could explain that too, and I'm not saying I am a democratic socialist. I'm talking about people making claims, outlandish claims. It'd be like me calling Trump a Nazi. Is he a Nazi?
No.
Is he a fascist?
No.
Okay, so we're throwing terms around, and people have no idea what they're talking about.
Well, just a minute now. Just a minute now.
Sure.
Some of these people that claim the DSA heading, when you ask them specifically about things that would lead one to believe that their views lean toward the communistic view, they want to take over everything. One of them even wants to get rid of the Constitution, if you will, and recreate the government. Taking over control of those producing entities in your country. Free this, free that. Come on, even you have to realize that there's some shades of it in there.
I haven't heard Al Saeed say that. There may be others. I can come up with
there may be others. Fine. Yeah.
I can come up with MAGAs and Trump people that say some pretty outlandish things.
Absolutely.
Too.
I'm not denying that.
I'm talking about Al Saeed. I have not heard him say any of those things. As a matter of fact, in most countries, like most people in this country think Canada is a socialist country. Is Canada a socialist country? No. They have private enterprise. They have public health care, but they also have private health care.
It's a hybrid.
So my only point is, this is being thrown around all over the place, and I'd like it to be expressed more in social programs and not socialism.
Well, that depends on the person. If you want to use El Said as your only example, okay. But there are so many other examples that are far beyond him. You cannot ignore them.
Because he was talking about El Said, and he called him a communist. That's ridiculous. I mean, a communist system is a monolithic system where we don't have elections that mean anything. We have a change of command, and it's ruled from the top down, and it's a complete control of the economy and the services.
That's what a lot of the DSAs. That's what a lot of the DSAs would like to see happen, and they've said so.
You think they want a command economy?
Absolutely.
They want to eliminate capitalism.
Oh, absolutely. They've said that straight out. I've heard it many times.
Who?
There's so many of them, I don't know which one said it, but I've heard it. I've heard it from them in numerous interviews.
Have you heard Al Saeed say that?
Going back to Al Saeed, he's only one guy.
But that was what the guy was talking about. His neighbors, the signs. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard Bernie Sanders say anything that you're talking about.
Okay. We'll leave
it
there.
I don't agree with Bernie Sanders on a lot of things. I'm telling you that. I just like people to understand. Do a little research. All
right.
Do a little studying. Thank you.
Good enough. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a break. Come back. We'll get to Michael in West Branch when we return.
Hi, I'm Katie.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Back to our phones. Michael is in West Branch. Michael, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
Great.
I'm solo. Jonathan had to run off to a meeting, so he's not in.
Oh, I see. Okay. Do you know what the only two known carcinogenic items are that we consume?
The only two?
Yeah, known.
No, what are they?
Well, you mentioned one: cured meats. Cured meats and alcohol.
Oh, because
Just
of
a note.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard about the cured meats.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Discussion about hot
Alcohol?
dogs. Alcohol.
They're the only two. You're sure
Those are the
about
only
that?
two. Foods, things that we consume. Speaking from a professional standpoint,
Those
cured
are the,
meats and alcohol, carcinogenic.
That's it.
That's it. I'm not talking about other things like PCBs, things like that, or man-made or other
Yeah,
things
no,
like that.
no, I
But
understand
the only, Yeah, but anyway, that's not the reason I called. That's just the food for thought. Pun intended.
Yeah.
You would agree that I think you would agree that freedom of speech is a bedrock freedom of our country.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, when I hear people call in and imply and more than imply that President Trump wants this country to become totally white, he wants to get rid of any minorities, any people of colored skin. I think it's over the top. I mean, they've got their right to opinion, but I think it's over the top, and I think it comes from information deficit. Just like I talked to you some time ago about the amount of people that have been killed and or raped and killed and hurt by illegal immigrants. It's a lack of knowledge and watching stations that don't provide that information. And they don't know that during Trump's first term, his policies resulted in the lowest poverty rate for blacks and Hispanics, the lowest that had been recorded.
That was well reported.
Okay, but what I'm saying, my point is, and again, I bet a little money on it, that people call in and imply that President Trump's a racist. Also, if you remember, he worked with Tim Scott, black senator from South Carolina, on criminal justice reform.
Yep.
And those opportunity zones to help with minorities creating businesses, and he also contributed tremendously to those historically black colleges. So I think it's over the top when you imply that the president wants get rid of all people who are minorities.
All right, let me point something out.
Go ahead.
While I may agree with you in what you're saying, I also have to go out and point out that you pointed out at the very beginning, free speech is one of the most important things we have in this country. And that means that people are free to be over the top. We may not like it, but that's all part of being free speech.
Absolutely.
Unfortunate, right? I hear it. I can hear it.
I will just say that if you're making statements, if someone makes statements like that, they've either just they've got so much hatred in this Trump derangement syndrome, or whatever I want to classify it as, that they and you say it was some of these aspects were highly shown on television and the information brought out. But honestly, Art, if you're watching MSNBC, which is now MS Now, or you're watching CNN, they don't go out of their way to project or provide any
information
that is positive for the president. When you find 95%,
then you don't watch them.
Don't watch it. Exactly.
There you go.
But to come out with that kind of bold statement, this is what the president wants. When you look at, again, what he's done for black people, he's gone over the top himself when he said that he's done more for the minorities and black people than since Lincoln. And that's maybe a little bit over the top, but he's gone out of his way. He contributed to Jesse Jackson's campaign when he ran. He helped out the Hudson family when I think her family was murdered. He goes out of his way to help people.
You understand that isn't going to change a single person's mind. The
people I think if they heard some information, they might say, hey, maybe I need to check my facts and figures a little bit before I come out with outrageous statements.
You might, they may not. Mainly because their mind is made up. They've already got him classified.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you remember what Biden was the author of one of the, criminal justice reform. Remember Biden when he was a senator? They pushed legislation that resulted in us mass incarceration, and Trump changed that with this criminal justice reform. So, and Biden was the one who said racial jungles. You don't want racial jungles. So, you want to talk about racist? There's my example there. But anyway,
good enough.
So, you going to enjoy a hot dog today?
I might, with just mustard. Not for
No-
$100
no
bucks.
onions or
I'll tell you
pickle?
that. No onions or pickle. No.
Okay.
All right. Good enough, Mike.
All right. Have a
Thanks.
good day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cam, hold on. We'll get to you next, right after these notes.
It's time to
Morning Team Show. Weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
We're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Back to our phones. Cam is in Freeland. Cam, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Art. I'm sorry that Jonathan had to beg off.
He just
about his.
hold on a minute. Just wait, because he just walked back in
Yep.
the studio from his meeting. So hold on. Don't say anything yet. Okay, now you can say what
Okay.
you want to say about Jonathan. He's sitting here listening.
Jonathan, you've got leverage in your next contract negotiation with WSGW because there is clearly a talent in writing dad jokes. Bison? Are you serious?
I was proud of that one.
I can see those two guys sitting on the boat dock trading dad's jokes. That's going to be there someday, and you can write that.
Remind everybody what you said this morning.
Oh,
Jonathan.
on the morning team, we reviewed a video out of Yellowstone that just happened recently where a family encountered a bison on a boardwalk and they didn't stop walking. They just kept walking towards it. And eventually the bison took a step towards them. The kid started booking it down the boardwalk. Everybody else stayed still and the bison just started walking after the kid. I said, the dad looking at the kid running down the boardwalk said, "Bye, son."
And I accused him of doing a very bad dad joke.
Yep.
As Charles Barkley would say, that's terrible. Terrible. Art, I got a question for you. Actually, two maybe. Dana Nessel said something earlier that she did not go to a certain meeting because being Jewish, she was afraid that she'd be in danger. My question is that a problem in the Tri-Cities, and do you ever feel that way?
No. Nope.
And my daughter married a Jewish man, but he's a very devout Christian. I had somebody tell me one time that, well, if he's Christian, he's not Jewish.
You mean he converted to Christianity?
Ethnically, yeah.
Well, I suppose.
Yeah, he converted.
That's one way. But does the bloodline make you Jewish, or does the religion make you Jewish? Or
You know what? I'm going to answer that question because growing up, I always thought of Judaism as a religion, not a nationality, if you will. A number of years ago for Christmas, I got one of those 23andMe tests, right? So I did the saliva thing. I sent it off. I got back the results, and when I opened the envelope and read it, I stood there and literally stared at it in disbelief because it came back it was something like 99.2% Ashkenazi Jew as a race.
As an ethnicity.
As an ethnicity. So I was surprised to find out that from an ethnic standpoint, not only am I Jewish from a religious standpoint, but from an ethnic standpoint. So that surprised me. I didn't know. I grew up without knowing it. So it took me till my 70s to figure it out.
Yeah. Well, we learn something new every day.
Every day, life is full of lessons.
Yeah. If you ever stop learning, you must be dead. So.
Yep, you got that right. And the other 0.8% of me was what I always thought I was, and that was from Hungary and Ukraine or Russia. Was where my heritage comes from, and there was 0.8% of it. But the rest was solid. So I was surprised.
Got to run, guys. You have a blessed day and a better weekend.
You too. Take care, Cam. Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And let's talk to Carl in Saginaw. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Art, before you were talking about how young people are less enthused about capitalism, and maybe that's why they're looking for some other answers.
Well, I don't think I said they were less enthused about capitalism. I just said they seem to be more enthused about the democratic socialist movement.
Right. Well, I think for a lot of people, young people, and people who are living paycheck to paycheck, they don't see the capitalistic system that we have right now working for them.
So I want to make a point. I want to make a point, Carl. I have a question.
Okay.
And I'll get
Sure.
Jonathan to chime in on this too. The people living paycheck to paycheck or even less versus the people that have benefited from the capitalistic system because they make a good middle income living or better.
Yes.
How many of those people that are not making it because when they had educational opportunity, they didn't pay attention in school. They didn't like school. They didn't do much in school. They barely got out of school.
They didn't pursue one of the many opportunities afterwards.
Exactly. How many of those people are in that category? And
Maybe a lot. Maybe a lot. I don't know.
I would take a pretty good guess.
There are people who have worked hard, they played by the rules, and they just cannot get ahead in this economy. Now, I understand it's working for you and me. We own our homes. We have stock. We have money in the bank. Our stock goes up every month. It's hard to complain.
Okay, and you did what you had to do to make that happen.
Yeah, but I also got lucky.
Well, maybe, but
family connections.
That's life.
And I did get an education, but not everybody has the same opportunities. And you can understand why some people look at our system and say it's not working for me.
Well, I would change a little of what you said. You said not everybody has the same opportunities. I say not everybody chooses to follow the opportunities that are in front of them.
That may be, but you were also talking about with Tim. You're talking about Social Security in this country. Now that's obviously a social program.
Right.
It was called every name in the book when it first came out. But now, you think there are many people now who want to get rid of Social Security? That's a social program.
Well,
it's not capitalism. So should we get rid of it?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
I'm
so
one
much
of them.
for that. Now here's
Jonathan. You believe we should?
Oh yeah, I sincerely hope that I am one of the first of the generation that pays into Social Security and never sees a dime of it. I want it gone.
Well, you may be.
Yeah.
It can be gone as soon as I'm done with it.
Selfish of you.
It can be. I'll be a selfish one. It can be gone as soon as I'm done with it.
Well, that's the way a lot of people feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I get mine.
Well, here's the problem with it, though. Yep. See, here's the problem with it. Problem with it is where it is today. It was never designed to be. It was designed to be a safety net, not a retirement program. And I have to tell you, with all honesty, because I waited till I was 70 to take it, it's not a safety net. It's a retirement program. I can easily retire on what I get from Social Security. And it can't sustain that.
Do that.
It can't sustain it. Yeah, and I did it because they said I could do it.
And I'm going to offer a similar critique of the current economic system because I'm of that generation that is having a hard time getting by, a lot of people. It's the system that we have. It was never supposed to be this. We're in a system now where corporations get bailouts from the government because they've contributed to their politicians' campaigns, PACs, and things like that. And we're in a system now where you can't just join a company and have a career there for your whole life. That's not how it works anymore.
Yeah, well, it's a two-way street, though. It's also partly true that people grow up not wanting to have a single company career. They look to move up and stepping stone and all of that. The days of company loyalty and loyalty to the company are gone.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a different world that we live in. It's a different world that I grew up in. It was a different place that I was taught. I've been here since 1974 for a reason. They've been good to me, and I hope I've been good to them. That's all there is to it. It's that simple. So, hey, I got to run because we're out of time, Carl. Do it again.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks, you too. And Jonathan, thank you much, sir.
Thank you.
All right. I hope you do stick around long enough to collect Social Security. News is next, and then we'll be back to learn about the Hemlock Schools and the new Performing Arts Center with their superintendent.
Beautiful new floor.